God, that's well slack. I think it could be a ray. It is. Hi guys, welcome to Dan-gler's Sea Fishing. Tonight I'm fishing Norton wool, and tonight's not just any old night, it's a comp night. So let's get fishing. Hi guys, so as I said, we are fishing a comp tonight. It's a one rod comp down Norton wool. I do fish for the Wight danglers. As most of you probably know, so does Frugal Outdoors, who's probably filming somewhere down there. Next to me I've got Ben on one side and Lyndon on the other. Unfortunately, I was quite late out of the draw, so I didn't get the spot that I wanted to get, but managed to get to a spot where there's a pipeline coming straight out off here, and hopefully that can get some fish coming our way. The time at the moment is 3:30. We're kicking off at 4 o'clock, and hopefully we can find some fish. Right, so we've decided to start a bit earlier. I've got my rods all set up now, so let's get some baits out there. For my first cast, because we're only using one rod, I'm going to put out a 2-hook clip down. Baits I've got on there is I've got some mussels on the bottom, and then on the top I've got a small strip of squid. So let's get this one out there and see if we can catch any fish. Quite nice to cast out during the day for a change. Actually see where the lead lands. So baits are in the water. Let's see how long it takes for us to get some fish. It is quite flat. We're hoping there might be a bit more movement. Before dark there's a good chance of maybe a wrasse. Target species tonight is dogfish. Extra 5 points for dogfish. Just going to get my second rig set up. So, as I said, 2-hook clip down, nice and simple. Size 1/0 hooks. There's no point going too big at this point of the night. Maybe later on, if we've had plenty of fish, might upsize. Baits tonight, I've got squid, anchovies, mackerel, sand eels and mussels. The squid I'm using, they're ones that I caught off Wight Pier back in autumn. Really nice, thick, chunky meat on them. They got a really chunky quill on them. Not doing anything fancy with the bait, just literally simply hooking it on there. Nice thick chunk there. Hopefully can entice something in before we get dark, but not expecting too much action until till darkness sets in and the eels arrive. But would be really nice if we can get an early dogfish and get on the board. or a wrasse. That would be really good before it gets dark because I can get the dogfish later. So on the bottom of this one, I've just popped a sand eel on there. I've just chopped the head off just by the gills, and I've just chopped the tail off. As you can see, nice and bloody. That should bleed out quite nicely, hopefully entice some fish in. With that sand eel, I've put the hook a little bit up the body. If you do that, you just want to give your bites a little bit more time to develop, because they may just nip on the end there and take the end off. Same with the squid I've got here as well, because it's sort of hung loose a little bit. You might find that they will nip at it before they take the hook. So if you do bait up like that, just try and leave it a little bit longer. So a little bit about me. My name's Dan. I've been fishing since I was about 13. Weird story about how I first got a rod. So me and a best friend, we'd been doing a little summer job and saved up a bit of money, and we decided to go down the town to buy remote control cars. As it happens, we walked past a tackle shop first and decided instead of remote control cars, we'd buy a fishing rod. But we only had enough for one rod, so we ended up buying it between us until we could sort of buy the other half for the other person. We ended up sharing it. And then that summer, we went up Ryde Pier. For those that live on the Isle of Wight, you'll know where that is. The ones that don't live on the Isle of Wight, that's just over on the east side of the Wight, in the Solent. Yeah, and ended up buying like a pound of like £1 worth of ragworm, and taking it up there, and we played with the little blennies that are around the pier. I think our setup was just a tiny hook and a weight, but it was great fun, and yeah, gets you addicted annoyingly. Well, not annoyingly, I love this hobby, but yeah, it was really good fun, and yeah, from there sort of carried on fishing. I've had a few breaks over the years since then, but generally I've always been into my fish or my fishing. I've kept fish as well. But I like the challenge of fishing. I like trying to work stuff out. This club, where it's fixed venue, I do like that because it makes me think about where our venue is and what species I can target and how I can target them. And it keeps my brain going. Otherwise, you sort of get into a bit of a rut where you end up fishing the same venues all the time. So I do quite enjoy that. Everyone here is really nice as well. Last year, I managed to fish most of the comps. There was a couple I didn't. Ended up finishing third overall. But what was nice was the fact that going into the last comp, it was between myself, Andy and Nikki. If any of us didn't catch, then it was going to change the positioning. But as it turned out, we all caught fish and none of us could be caught, so we all stayed in our positions and I finished third overall. Had a couple of wins in the individual ones. Managed to weigh in almost every comp that I fished, which was nice. Tonight I'm just hoping to get on the board, get some points. But a win's always nice. 6 degrees apparently today. Feels a bit warmer than that though, where we haven't got any wind. Especially after the winds we've had. Absolutely massive storm rolled in yesterday. But it's gone as quick as it's arrived. Got another one coming tomorrow though. There's always that anticipation before your first bite, first fish. It's nice when you get that first bite just to know that there is something out there, something in the sea. Sit on my hands a little bit longer before we bring that one in. Might be time for a coffee. Don't know about you lot, but I always find the most awkward of times fish normally bite, so it'll probably be while I'm trying to drink my coffee. So because we don't have that much daylight left, I think it might be worth me just putting a fresh bait out again, but I'm going to pop this one out a little bit shorter, just on that last chance that there might be a wrasse kicking around. Doesn't appear to be anything where I've cast the first one. So let's bring this one in. So going to try and just place this one a bit shorter. So just getting my baits ready for after dark. Got some lovely anchovies here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it up the side of them, then I'm going to pop a little bit of squid, wrap them up together, and just pop 2 of them on my 2 hook clip downs. So all I'm doing with these is I've just popped it on my 2-prong bait tool, 1 on each side. Then I'm just going to bait elastic that up, whip it up together, not too much but enough to hold it all together, like so. And I'll just pop the hook through there, a little bit more bait elastic just to hold it in place, and that will do on this one. So yeah, like I was saying, take your hook, pop it through, down the body, like so. Whip it up. Just enough to hold the hook in place. Like that. And slide it off so that you got a nice presented bait like that. Don't you hate it when you're got a little bit of something stuck to your hand, so you fling your hand out and all your bait goes straight into the water. I suppose it's ground baiting. When you are using small hooks, it's always good to downsize your bait. If you do have big baits, what you tend to do is you tend to get fish just mouthing the bait. So always drop them bait sizes down when you're using smaller hooks. Just going to spin you around. There's an absolutely beautiful sky setting. Hopefully, now that it's starting to get dark, we might actually find some fish. Well, we're just over an hour in now. No action so far, but that light is starting to fade. I know it doesn't look like it on the camera, but it is actually starting to get quite dark, so I will be getting some tip lights on soon and then getting some baits sent out a bit further. Hopefully we start seeing some action once that sun's fully gone down. There's not much of it left now. Lovely sunset though. So I do actually use the Rig Shark tip lights. I do like to tape mine on because although they do grip very well, they can still fly off. So mine are taped on the main cases, and then I have a couple of different main actual lights. So I have the smart ones for when the weather's like this, and it can register some really little bites, which is really helpful, especially in a match. And then when it's a bit rougher or a bit windier, I've just got the same Rig Shark lights, but they're just the non-smart ones so that they're not flashing constantly. So just heard a bit of shouting down there. Sounds like someone's just pulled in a dogfish. It's a good sign, at least something's out there. So the nice thing about using the smart tip lights is, particularly when you're match fishing, is if you do turn your head for a moment, it will still flash a little bit after, so it gives you a bit more of a chance of seeing that you've had a bite if you've turned your head. Especially, it's useful when you're baiting up and you're looking down a lot. The other thing is if you do happen to wander away from your rods, it does catch your eye in the dark, which I do really like. Oh, there was a bite there. Yeah, that's a bite. Go on, go again. As said, just in the dusk and the fish are starting to wake up. Hopefully that picked up all right on camera. Looks like it's wound up the line. I think it might have been a conger eel. It's twisted right up the leader there. Definitely a conger. Oh God, that's so twisted. Well, didn't get that one, but let's get a nice bait out there again, now that we know there is some fish out there. Well, we're 2 hours in. Been pretty slow. Doesn't look like too much has been caught all round, but we are starting to get some bites now. Ben had a bite a minute ago, a couple of bites up there, so at least we're starting to get some fish on the feed. Hopefully that tip light's going to go any second. No, it's worth a try. Hey, we have a fish. But I don't think it's in size. Well guys, not exactly anything special, but a little pout. At least we're not blanking, but it's not going to be big enough to get us on the board, so we're going to have to get some stuff out there to try and find something better. So little pout, you can go back in the sea. Not even big enough to make the light flash, but maybe earlier when I said that Rob was about to go, I think I may have been right. It was an ever so slightly little twitch. Oh, but that's a better bite. Go on, go again. I think we've still got something there. You can't see much moving on it, but because it keeps making it flash, there's obviously something rattling it. So I am going to pick that up, bring that one in. It's only been out there 30 seconds, something along those lines. Right, come on, let's see what's on there. Could just be another pout. Hopefully it's dogfish. That's something you won't hear me say every week. Bugger. Maybe I should have left it a little bit longer. Trying to be over keen. It's the problem with match fishing, is it does make you sort of, especially when you've got one rod out there, it does make you a bit extra keen to try and get that in, because you don't want a fish just sat on there. Otherwise you're just wasting valuable time when you can land another fish. Well, that's the rigs all up together again. At least I've got a few to keep me going. Now all I need is the fish to start biting, so I can start using up some of them. Keep me busy again. Might be time for a coffee though. January is always quite a hard month for fishing. That was me. It can be a bit slow. Some people don't really like catching dogfish and eels, but I think this time of year, I think, you know, it's better to catch them than it is to blank. And it's always nice to be out on the beach fishing. I mean, club nights are always pretty fun because you sort of all meet up with friends and have a bit of a laugh and a joke with each other. Lucky coffee. Hopefully it should make the rod go. And then I'll probably throw coffee all over myself in excitement. Oh, I just forgot to mention. So I have a little sort of tradition that was started with my best friend when we used to go fishing. What it was is whenever we got our first fish, we would give each other a celebratory chocolate. It used to be a celebratory sidewinder, but they're really expensive now. Like they were like 10p and they're now like 50 odd p. I know that doesn't seem that expensive, but for a sidewinder, that's quite a lot of money. Anyway, so I've kept that tradition going up, and I always bring a bit of chocolate along, but I'm not allowed to have it until I catch my first fish. And I completely forgot that I've got the chocolate sat over there ready. So now that I've had the pout, I can technically have it, but I'm gonna save it tonight, and hopefully when I get my first fish that I can weigh in, then I'll eat it. So going to pop out some fresh baits again in a minute. How far in are we? 2.5 hours in, just coming up for 6:30. Plenty of time left, so we can still land some good fish, or some fish. Yeah, I'd be happy with just fish at the moment, any fish. I have actually been fishing a few times already this year, but it was before I got all the setup to record, so I haven't actually got it all on footage. I did have quite a nice spotted ray, £3.9. I had whiting, congers, dogfish, pout. But I think what I'll probably do is I'll probably count my species just on the videos. So at the moment I'm at 1. So hopefully we can improve that. Does anyone have any special targets that they're aiming for 2025? I think there's a couple of extra species I'd like to tick off. Maybe not the ones that everyone aims for, not the big things, something more unusual. But I'll save them for other videos when I'm not match fishing. Match fishing, I just take fish, any fish, as long as they're in size. I mean, our club is catch and release, so all the fish that are caught, unless they're going to the table, are returned. I think we had a 95% return rate last year, which is really good. It might have even been higher than that. I know I didn't take any fish from last year. One rod's okay when you're busy, but when it's a bit slow, you do crave that second rod. Just keeps you more busy because you can alternate between the two. It's a bit more time waiting for bites, waiting to change them over when it's like this. Oh, hello. That's oh, I've missed it. No, I think it's there. The timing of that, I'd only just got back. Oh, I missed it. First comp of the year, I'm a little bit too keen. Next time that goes, unless it hoops right over, I'll wait a little bit longer. That looked like a bite. Is that a bite? Yes. Oh God, that's well slack. I think we've got a fish on here. It's either that or it was a hell of a good bite from a bit of driftwood. Ben, you got your net? I might need it, mate. Well, I've just got slackline pretty well. I just got a really big slackline just then. Yeah, could just be a bit of weed.
Sometimes how much weight you put it in and it's a doggy curled up.
It does.
You never know.
There's definitely something there. Ooh. Oh look, it's there. You can see it out there. Don't know what it was. It doesn't feel like it's fighting like an eel. Yeah. I think it could be a ray. It is. Yes, get in. I hope this is in size. Otherwise I'm going to be gutted. Yes, we've got a fish. It's 41. It's in size, mate. 41 exactly. God. Here we go, guys. Let's go weigh it in. It is 41 centimetres exactly across the wings. Absolutely beaut. Yes, come on, £3.4. I'll show him again to you in a minute. But he's just in the recovery bucket. And then I'll show him again to you before I release him. What I didn't say earlier is if you get a fish over £3, you also get an extra 5 points. So that's also worth an extra 5 points. So guys, as you can see, a lovely, beautiful spotted ray. I love these things. The colours on them, like the patterns, and their eyes is just amazing. But he was just in size. So we have the same size for all rays in our comps. So it's 41 centimetres and he was 41 centimetres on the dot, which I'm really pleased about, because I did have one of these when I was down Fort Victoria in our last comp at the end of last year, and it was just undersized. So anyway, let's pop him back. He's currently biting onto my sleeve, but there he is. So they that fish.
Yeah, mine top.
What? Oh, hold on. Oh, we're on again. Was that a good bite? I was too busy returning the net. Yeah, still there. Eel this time. Nothing special, but third species of the night. Little conger eel. Better pop him back quickly. I am chuffed with that fish. I put it on my box to measure it out, so I've got a measure on my box, and I put it on, and it was just over 40, and I was like, no, it's not big enough. 41 centimeters is the weigh-in size, and then it just settled itself flat and just pushed itself into the 41. Ah, chuffed. On the board. Yes. Well guys, do you know what's even better about that ray? Is the fact that now I can have my celebratory chocolate. So tonight, dairy milk. If I can open it. I do have pretty slippy mackerel-y squid hands. Well, we're just at 7:45 now. Tide is approaching the top. Does seem to have gone a bit quiet on the old bite front. Surely there's got to be a dogfish out there somewhere. It's 8 o'clock, 2 hours left. Still plenty of time for that dogfish, but I'm going to keep working at it hard, keep getting these baits changed. Doesn't even need to be a big dogfish. I mean, a big dogfish would be nice. So I did just realise that in all the excitement of today, being first comp of the year and filming for you guys, I completely forgot to tell you what my setup is. So I'm using an Anyfish Anywhere 6 and bait. It is the 15-foot version, and it's geared for multiplier. And on the reel front, I've got a Pen Mag 4 525. Oh, that was a bite. Line's still tight. It was weird, that little bite. Could be a pout. Could have been a little eel just nipping at it. Or, fingers crossed, could be a dogfish that's just sat on it and munching away. So we'll leave that out there a bit longer and see what it does. They're both fishy baits on that one. Anchovy and mackerel. Well, it's 9:15. Everyone seems to be quiet at the moment. Seems to be no bites coming in. I'm assuming it's because we're right at the top of the tide now. I'm waiting for the water to start moving again. Hopefully that might bring a few fish on. Fingers crossed for a dogfish, but oh, that's an interesting bite. What was that? Go on, go again. What do we think that was? It's like a really slow and deliberate bite. I don't know if it showed up on camera. But it was just like it was like someone had just pulled on the end of the line and then just eased it back up again. Pick this up nice and gently. Does look like we've got something on that. Oh, it's an eel. But is it big enough? It's bigger than our other one, but I don't think it's a pound. No, it's definitely not a pound. Oh well, it's a fish. It's the first one we've seen for a while. Well, that's interesting. I've lost a hook on the other one, which might suggest that maybe that pull down was from something else and not that eel. Oh guys, that's 4 fish in total now. Only one of them's been weighable, just. Still searching for that elusive dogfish. The rarity of winter fish. Which normally you get absolutely tons of, but for some reason seems to be hard as anything to catch when you want to catch one. But I'll keep trying. Well guys, we're into the last half an hour. Not long left to try and get that dogfish. I bet you haven't heard someone so desperate on a video to catch a dogfish. But those extra 5 points really do come in handy in the league. But either way, I'm going home happy tonight because absolutely chuffed with that ray. And it's great to catch some nice fish for you on this first video. Well guys, that's the first comp of 2025 done. Hopefully I should be displaying the results on screen now for you. And well done to everyone who managed to catch. Been quite hard going, but I'm quite pleased with what we managed to get tonight. Anyway, if you've managed to make it this far in the video, I just want to say thank you. Means a lot for anyone who watches the video. I don't really know who I've put it out here for, but anyone who watches it, I do appreciate you sticking it out to watch to the end. And if you would like more tips and tricks and fishing adventures, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until the next video, I'll see you then.